Dear students, today we have to study about coordination and response. And the subtopics are sense organs, hormones, homeostasis, and tropic response. Let's discuss about coordination and response. Uh, to receive the information, then to analyze the information and act according to the information or respond according to the information is called as coordination and response. So to receive the information, to analyze the information, and after that to react according to the information is called as coordination and response. For this purpose, we have 5 senses which are called as sense organs, which are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Eyes are used for vision, ears are used for hearing, and nose is used for smell, tongue is used for tongue is used for taste, and skin is used for uh, the touch, pain, pressure, etc. So different stimuli, they are the different changes which are felt by our body are called as stimuli. So the stimuli are felt with the help of the receptors which we have in our body, which are 5 as we have mentioned earlier: eyes, ear, nose, tongue, and skin. And in this way, these stimuli are felt by them, and then they are conveyed towards the brain with the help of special cells which are called as neurons. So sensory neurons are responsible for that, to convey message from the receptor towards the brain or towards the CNS. And then within the CNS it might be analyzed or might be connected with the relay neuron, that is intermediate neuron, and then it will convey that message or nerve impulse towards the uh, towards the uh, towards the effector neuron or motor neuron, and in this way uh, the message will be conveyed towards the effectors. So in our body, here are receptors, uh, coordinators, and effectors. The receptors are these 5 senses, coordinator is brain and spinal cord, and effectors are muscles and endocrine glands. So all of them are connected with the help of uh, 2 systems which are called as nervous systems, and the second one is endocrine system. And here your students, you should be able to compare these two, what happens in the nervous system and what happens in the endocrine system. So these two systems should be compared. What happens in the nervous system, similarly what happens in the endocrine system, and what they are and what are their roles. The nervous system consists of brain, spinal cord, and neurons, whereas endocrine system consists of a group of hormones produced by endocrine glands, and they travel within the body. The hormones travel within the body with the help of blood. So from the hormones released in the blood from the endocrine glands, so those hormones, they travel from the endocrine glands towards the effectors, and then effectors respond accordingly. So nervous system consists of brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Endocrine consists of endocrine glands, hormones, and blood. Uh, the response is very quick in the nervous system, but it is slow in case of endocrine system, and the message is conveyed in the form of nerve impulse from one part of the body to the other uh, with the help of neurons, whereas the message is conveyed with the help of blood from one part of the body to the other in the endocrine system. And the reaction or respond from the endocrine system is for the long time, and for the nervous system it is for the short time. Next, dear students, we have to discuss about central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord, whereas peripheral nervous systems are the nerves or neurons around the body. So in the skin, legs, eyes, etc., legs and arms, etc. So the outer nerves are called as peripheral nerves. Excuse me. Then, dear students, uh, brain have some major parts, and they are specialized for special functions. For example, the uppermost part of the brain is called as cerebrum, and the hinder part, which is leaf-like, is cerebellum, and then hypothalamus is the central part comparatively present on the lower side, and then medulla oblongata and cerebellum. So cerebrum is the part in which uh, memory and reasoning is done, whereas in the cerebellum, balance of the body is maintained. Hypothalamus is called as thermoregulator, osmoregulator, and glucoregulator. It means it controls the temperature level, sugar level, and water level in the body. And medulla oblongata, basically responsible for involuntary actions like breathing and pulse rate, etc. And pituitary gland is the master gland which control the activities of all the other glands. So it is the master gland. So it was all about the brain. Then spinal cord. Spinal cord consists of external and internal part. So external is uh, light color or white portion, whereas the inner is gray portion. And if we cut it, its shape will be like a butterfly. The outer one will be the lighter in color, white, and the inner one will be gray in color. And basically, the spinal cord connects the brain with the other parts of the body, and from the spinal cord, different neurons originate towards other parts of the body. And in the spinal cord, in the center, relay neurons are present. Now, on one side, spinal cord may be attached with the receptors, and on the other side with the effectors. And next, we have to discuss about the different types of the actions which may be with the help of will of the person, or willing action, or maybe unwilling action. So the willing actions are called as voluntary actions, and the non-willing actions, which might take place automatically without will, without thinking of the person, is called as uh, involuntary or reflex action. So in case of voluntary actions, more number of neurons are involved, and this is comparatively slow. For example, moving, walking, speaking, etc., reading, writing. So these are the voluntary action in which more number of neurons or nerves are involved, whereas involuntary action, for example, if our hand is touched with any sharp or hard object, so then it will be withdrawn immediately without thinking that what happened actually, And later on we will think, oh, actually it was the issue like this. What happened? The hand has burnt, or maybe it has struck with any sharp object or hard object, etc. So, firstly, the hand will be withdrawn immediately without thinking. So, this type of action is called as involuntary action. Similarly, knee jerk is involuntary action, and blinking of the eye, involuntary action. Similarly, narrowing of the pupil is an involuntary action. Narrowing of the pupil in bright light. Similarly, widening of the pupil in the dark light. All these are the involuntary actions. Let's discuss in some more detail about the reflex action. Here are 5 or 6 different main headings which should be discussed. Number 1, receptor, for example, skin. Number 2, effector, and number 3, coordinator. Order wise, it will be receptor like skin, then coordinator like spinal cord, and the effector like muscles. Then 3 neurons called sensory neuron, relay neuron, and motor neuron. Sensory neuron conveys message with the help of nerve impulse from the sensory organ or sense organ or skin towards the coordinator, and then uh, relay neuron will receive this message with receive this nerve impulse, and then it will convey towards the motor neuron or effector neuron, and then this will convey message towards the effector, which are muscles. They will contract or relax immediately, and the hand will be withdrawn from the sharp object. So in this way, this action is very quick without thinking, and even brain is not involved within this one. So the action in which brain is not involved or thinking is not involved is called as reflex action. Next, dear students, we have to discuss about different types of hormones. Here you know the system which is called as endocrine system. It consists of uh, different endocrine glands, which are pituitary gland, as we have mentioned earlier, master gland, and it is located within the brain. Then thyroid and parathyroid, which are located in the neck, and then pancreas, which is also connected with the digestive system, and then adrenal gland attached with the kidney, and lastly the sex organs, that is ovaries and testes. Ovaries in the female and testes in the male, they are responsible to produce different hormones which enter in the blood and reach to different parts of the body. Hormones are the special chemicals which are produced by the endocrine glands, and they perform their activity somewhere else. For example, insulin is produced in the pancreas, and it performs its activity in the muscles and in the liver to convert the glucose into glycogen. Similarly, another hormone called as glucagon, it converts glycogen to glucose also in the liver. So they are produced in the pancreas, but they perform their activity somewhere else. And what are the endocrine glands and what are their hormones? So pituitary gland produces a hormone, uh, for example, FSH in the females to control the menstrual cycle. Similarly, uh, another hormone, ADH, that is antidiuretic hormone to control the amount of water level in the body, in the urine. Next, thyroid and parathyroid, which are located within the neck, and they are responsible for the metabolism of calcium and bones and growth, etc. So collectively they control growth and metabolism of the bones, etc. And then pancreas which is also endocrine as well as exocrine gland. Endocrine glands are those which produce hormones without ducts, and exocrine are those which produce certain enzymes and they have duct as well. So pancreatic duct is there, which secretes in which, yeah, through which enzymes enter into the uh, alimentary canal, into the duodenum. So there is also a duct present. So the uh, glands having duct are called as ducteous glands, and without duct are called as ductless or endocrine glands. And then pancreas produces two hormones, insulin and glucagon. Insulin converts uh, glucose to glycogen, whereas the glucagon converts glycogen to glucose. So in this way, their actions are antagonistic to each other. Antagonistic are opposite to one another. Next, dear students, we have to discuss about homeostasis, that is to keep the internal body condition. Sorry. Next are the adrenal gland. Adrenal gland is above the kidney and it produces a hormone called as adrenaline, which is the hormone of emergency. So this is also called as hormone of fight, flight and fright. And uh, in excitement or at the time of anger or fear, this hormone is released a lot to control the emergency situation. So at this time, when this hormone is released at emergency, then the pupils may dilate, the blood sugar level may increase, and similarly the breathing rate will be increased and pulse rate will also be increased to cope with the emergency situation. And next are the ovaries in the females and testes in the male. So ovaries produce the female hormones which control the activities of the females, for example their shape because of the hormone estrogen, then progesterone to maintain the thickness of the uterus. Similarly, their secondary sexual characters are controlled by these hormones produced by the ovary. And in the males, the hormone name is testosterone, which is produced in the testes and it controls the characteristics of the males. For example, slackening of the voice, the body becomes more muscular, and production of the sperms and pubic hair, etc. So the characteristics of the males are controlled by the hormone called as testosterone, which is produced by the testes. And again, the hormone enters in the blood and travels throughout the part of the body. For example, facial hairs are because of the testosterone, mustaches, beard, etc. Slackening of the voice, the body becomes more muscular, and even the hair upon the whole body, they are more prominent in the males than that of the females. So this is because of the hormone testosterone. Next, dear students, we have to discuss about homeostasis, which is to keep the internal body conditions constant. So to keep the internal body conditions constant or near to constant is called as homeostasis. Homeo, like homo, and status. Stasis means state. So the same state. For example, temperature, water and sugar level, etc. They should be kept constant or near to constant in the body so that the activities of the body may be at the optimum level. Otherwise, if any of them is increased or decreased a lot, so then the body will be in trouble. For example, if the temperature is too high, then the enzymes might be denatured, hormones might be destroyed. Similarly, uh, the brain may not act properly, and if the temperature is again very low, so then the blood might clot or water might clot within the blood vessels. So the enzymes will not work. so the body will be in trouble, even death may take place. So in both the cases, at even high temperature and at low temperature. And you know the range of the temperature should be between between a specific range. So above that range or below that range, the person might die. For example, in case of the clinical thermometer, the maximum temperature is up to 42 degrees Celsius and the minimum is 35. So the temperature should be in between that. And the body temperature, ideal temperature in the human is the temperature that is 37 degrees Celsius and 98.6 in the Fahrenheit temperature. So if the temperature is above this or below this, then the body tries to maintain it automatically. And if it is not possible, so then we have to take foreign aid, otherwise death may take place. Similarly, sugar level, it should be near the constant or at the optimum level. If it is more than that, the person may be diabetic, and if it is less than that, then again person will be in trouble. So same with the water level, it should be at the optimum level. Above or below this, the body will be in trouble. So in case of more amount of water, the cells might burst, red blood cells particularly, and white blood cells as well. And if the water level is low, dehydration will take place, and death may take place as a result of dehydration. So how the body control these, we have to discuss about these with the help of few points. That, for example, the temperature will be either normal or more than normal or maybe less than normal, and in all the three cases it will be felt by the hypothalamus, which is the thermoregulator in the brain, and then it will detect these changes, and then the body will try to control these changes automatically with the help of a system called as feedback mechanism. So what is feedback? May be positive, may be negative. So if the action is opposite to the stimuli, then for homeostasis, then this is called as negative feedback. And if the uh, action or reaction is along with the stimuli, so then this is called as positive feedback. For example, if temperature is more than normal, then the body will try to lower the temperature with the help of negative feedback. How? Sweating will be there, vasodilation will be there, and the metabolism will be slow to produce less heat in the body. And as a result of sweating and evaporation of that sweat, cooling effect will be produced and the temperature will be lowered down. And the blood vessel near the skin, they will dilate so that the more supply of blood towards the skin or sweat may take place. And in this way, these actions, which are called as negative feedback, they will lower the body temperature. Similarly, if the temperature is very low, then the body will react oppositely. uh, as a result of negative feedback, what will happen? Vasoconstriction will take place. uh, Metabolism will be faster or quicker, and uh, shivering might take place. Similarly, the hair erector muscle will contract and the hair will become erect, whereas in the higher temperature, the hair erector muscle will relax and the hair will become flat over the body. And next, dear students, we have to discuss about the sugar level. It might be normal, it might be higher, it might be lower than that of the normal. So what will happen in case of the higher sugar level? Again, will be detected by the hypothalamus, and then as a result of negative feedback, a hormone will be released called as insulin from the pancreas, and insulin will convert the glucose to glycogen, and in this way the glycogen level will be increased and sugar level will be lowered and the sugar level will become normal. Similarly, if the sugar level is low, then it will be detected by the hypothalamus, and as a result of negative feedback, a hormone called as glucagon will be produced or secreted more into the blood, and in the body, especially in the muscle and livers, in muscles and liver, the glycogen will be converted to glucose, and in this way sugar level will be increased. And lastly, dear students, we have to discuss about uh, the water level. If the water level is more normal or less than that of the normal, then in all the three cases it will be felt by the hypothalamus, which is osmoregulator, and then as a result of negative feedback, in case of higher water level, less ADH, that is antidiuretic hormone secreted by the pituitary gland, will be released less. As a result of that, less absorption of water will take place, and more amount of urine will be there. So after some time, the water level in the body will be normal. Similarly, if the water level is very low or less than that of the normal, then again felt by the hypothalamus, and then as a result of negative feedback, more ADH will be secreted, and as a result of more ADH, more reabsorption of water will take place in the kidneys, and the amount of urine will be less and it will be more concentrated, and then less urine will be released out, and the water level will be maintained within the body, and in this way water level will be maintained. And lastly, dear students, we have to discuss about the tropism, that is response of the plants as a result of gravity, that is called as geotropism or gravitropism, and the response in the plants as a result of light is called as phototropism. The movement of the stem is towards the light, so this is called as phototropism, and the movement of the root is towards the gravity, this is called as gravitropism. Now, if the movement of any part of the plant is towards the stimulus, called as positive tropism, and if it is away from the stimulus, called as negative tropism. For example, movement of the stem towards the light will be positive phototropism. So generally it is not said positive, but it is said tropism, phototropism, and the movement of the root is opposite to the stem, to the light, so this is negative phototropism. Similarly, movement of the root is towards gravity, called as gravitropism, and uh, movement of the shoot is away from the gravity, so this is negative gravitropism. In this way, the hormones in plants, particularly the auxins, which are growth hormones in plant, they control the growth of the plant. So this was all about this chapter. I hope you have enjoyed the class. Thank you very much, and Allah Hafiz.